Adua keo, adua choko, kadu bebili juja. Adua choko, kadu bebili juja. Adua keo, mena chadua keo. Adua keo, mena chadua keo. Adua choko, kadu bebili juja. Adua choko, kadu bebili juja. You are welcome in the name of Jesus. So I can recognize Oluwadara Semi. Thank you for coming in. Emenike, if I'm right, well, that's what I'm seeing in the chat. And I can see our mommy here, Sister Esther also. You're welcome. You're welcome. So tonight, we'll be continuing our series, being successful. Being successful. I'm just taking a little bit of time for people to connect again so that they do not miss out. So I'll just be doing a bit of recap of what I spoke about 2 weeks ago, fortnight. I spoke about that life is full of challenges. Life. Oluwadamilola, you're welcome. Life is full of challenges. You can never have a free moment in life. Number one is either you are in a problem currently, or you just left a problem, or you're about going into a problem. Problems sometimes, if you have the right mindset, it should be a time for manifestation, where you deploy everything, and any problem that comes to you is simply because you've got something inside of you that can tackle that problem. Okay? So again, I spoke about working on yourself, spending time on yourself, investing time into yourself, working on your mind. Be careful what you think about. I spoke about, successful people only think about what they want always. I spoke about forgiving people. Nobody owes you anything in life. I'm telling you the fact. Nobody owes you. The moment you still have the mind of, how do I put it? The moment you have entitlement mentality and give yourself excuses, you won't grow that way. Okay? I also said your current state in life now is as a result of your subconscious and conscious belief of you. Are we together? So it's quite important that the next 5 years of our life should be very, very great. Okay? The next 10 years of our life should be very, very great. It's important we introduce ourselves to our new self. Okay? What has happened so far may not be our fault. But what is going to happen thereafter depends on what we think, what we read, decision we make. So work on yourself. I also spoke about some things you should do. Number one, I listed out 20 things. I think I mentioned 5, and I'm going to continue there today. Number one, I listed that don't listen to worldly news. They control your being without knowing. For example, you're in Nigeria, and every time all you read in the newspaper is lack of employment, increased rate of unemployment, people are getting fired. Before you know, you'll be like, why am I even studying safe? Even people with first class are not getting job. Meanwhile, there are people getting job that the news is not carrying. Because why? Bad news fast spread and spread faster. Okay? And it affects your mind. So you need to be conscious of your mind, because we all generate energy. Remember when Jesus said, who touched me? Who touched me? He was being careful how he dissipates energy. So be careful, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to news that will benefit you, all right? There's some news that is very, very important, but be careful of bad news, okay? It can change your mind to be bad. Then don't listen to secular and worldly music, okay? Right? I'm not really saying that, this is a doctrine as a Christian. Bible said no. Because why? Like someone says, music doesn't need your permission before it enters your soul. Okay? So you need to be careful. Some music are not gotten from the right energy, from the right source. Okay? And it has a spirit, whether you like it or not. Then thirdly, read books in area you want to become a champion, in area you want to become a leader. Alright? Like I said, there are many things about this world we don't know. This world is older than us, whether you like it or not. And we don't have eternity to use our life as experiments. Rather, we should learn from people. What am I trying to say? People say experience is the best teacher. To some extent, they are right. However, from more revelation, we have discovered that experience sometimes can be a costly teacher, but rather instruction. Remember, the Bible always mentions instruct. We instruct you in the way you should go. Do not lean on your own understanding. Instruction is quite very important, because when you follow instruction, you do not need to go and experience, but rather you are going to have a good experience. It's very, very important. So you should read books in the area you want to go. Then I spoke about, in any area you want to become great, you can read books, you can watch videos. For example, now this world is so great that anybody, anywhere, any corner can become very successful. All right, I'll give you a good example. We know all this Mark Angel, when they started, all these, this Isaiah Fasule, they call them, using their platform, you understand, things like that. So this world is anybody can make it at anywhere at any time. Even just putting some comment on Facebook and make a millionaire, like a lady that said, she cooks for her husband, and bam, before you knew it, everything went viral and stuff like that, But I'm talking about being intentional. I'm not giving it to chances, okay? Then again, listen to audio messages in area you want, because you need to listen. The Bible says faith comes by hearing. You hear it, because when you hear something, it makes you what it talks about. It makes you what it talks about. When you listen to it, it makes you what it talks about. Are we together? Then, the next thing I spoke about is removing friends who are not going together on the same journey you are. You know why? Let's say, for example, now God has said, "Oh, you are the salt of the salt of the heart," and your friend is carrying water. What do you think will happen to you? Or maybe you say, "I have fire. Everything is fire." And your friend, the friend you are moving with is carrying fire. Is carrying water. What happened at the end of the day? It will kill that fire. What happened at the end of the day? The salt will melt. I pray our fire will not die. Our salt will not melt in the name of Jesus. Are we together? I'm just giving a recap. So in 2 minutes time, I will go into what we have for today. Are we together now? Then also, if God has said, okay, you are wearing white, you shouldn't walk with a friend that's carrying palm oil. Any mistake, you are a goner. Any mistake like this. So you need to be careful. The kind of friends you have. Are we together? So one time I would just like to share again. I will share a bit of my story with you. Maybe you can draw inspiration from it. All right. So if I'm making sense to you, please populate in the chat. Let me know if you are gaining value. If you are gaining value, populate in the chat. If you are gaining value. You understand? So I want you to know that where you are is inconsequential to where you are going. Your environment. It doesn't matter. Many of us came from a very, very bad background. But we are able to change our environment by first of all changing our environment. We ensure that there's an implosion inside us to cause a drastic change. In our environment. Our implosion was so great that our environment could not contain us again. Okay? Just look at the life of David. David is a king, isn't it? But he was in the village. So let's take that village as Nigeria, that things are bad in the village. Because while he was in the village, what happened to him? The lion came. What happened to him? The bear came. But there were days of manifestation. All those challenges. But if it were today's Christian and you saw a lion, and by the time you want to give that testimony, say, brethren, praise the Lord. I'm telling you, God exists. Brethren, I saw a lion, and I ran for my life. But David said, no, he came after the sheep. I went after the lion. Remove the sheep from, yeah. What a mentality, what a mentality, what a mentality. Remove it and kill the lion. Asha! That is powerful. Okay, so we take that situation like, okay, the current state of things are bad because we want our life to improve. Okay, but then David was there. He had a mentality of the palace while in the village. So he got to a point that his environment could not contain him. He just had to release him. And that is why I'm telling you today, work on your mind. What is going on in your mind is greater, and should be greater than what is going on in the environment. Because a point will come, opportunity will come, your environment can no longer hold you because you cannot manifest in that environment. Are we together now? So today, I'll be looking more into be courageous. Be courageous. Sometimes when you want to achieve something meaningful in life, life will move against you. Sometimes we begin to talk around, we begin to talk to people around to seek their consent. Okay? But let me tell you something. Let me shock you today. The wrongest person to seek advice from, okay, when you are trying to achieve your destiny, is your biological parents or biological brother and sister. Please hear me well. Hear me well. I'm going to repeat that again. I'm not saying they are going to give you wrong advice. Sometimes the wrongest people you sought advice for. You know why? And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? If you want to know why, populate why in the charts. So let me tell you, populate why in the charts. Populate why in the charts. Now, the reason why is because these are people that love you genuinely. They do not want you to go through pain. They cannot bear it, seeing you going through pain. Imagine, do you think David's father will know that a lion will come, a bear will come that day, and we allow David to go to the forest? So sometimes the people that love us are scared of us going through pain. And sometimes we need those pain to release our potentials. We need those pain to release our potentials. When you go to the gym, it's not easy going to the gym. You go through pains. All your muscles will be strengthened with pain. Are we together? If I ask you, for those of us probably who are married and we have children here, how many of us we see our child trying to take his or her first step? You know, don't forget the child will start crawling. And the child is trying to stand up, trying to take the first or second step. And the child falls down, game. Which of us here will tell the child that, oh, no, don't walk again. Oh, I don't want you to fall. Don't walk again. That's okay for that day. No parent will do that. But rather, there is no gain sometimes if you don't go through some pains. When I mean pain, these are pain that's going to develop you. Not some pain that's going to kill you. Are we together now? So sometimes when you're trying to do something, because of the stress you're going to go through, because of the pain you're going to go through, they will be scared for your life. And your destiny cannot open up if you don't go through some pains. I've had days I've cried. I've had days that my back was completely on the floor. But do you know it's a good thing? Because when my back is on the floor, I look up to God. That's the way God has done it. Once your back is on the floor, and you're on the floor, the next place you look up is look up to God. Are we together? So you need to be courageous. Because if you are going to succeed, people are going to move against you. And that's why in different areas of your life, be courageous. The first area I'm going to tell you is that in the area of prayers, be the type that pray. So that if people moving against you are coming spiritually, you can undo all their shenanigans. Okay? The secondly, in the area of mental capacity, which I've spoken about before, you must read. Average person in the UK, in the US, only read one book a month, a year. Okay? Just one book a year. And like I told you, there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot we don't know. And there are levels of knowledge. The first level is unconscious incompetence. When you don't know that you don't know. You know, it's a level that you can't help people. And that's why we are enlightening you. Because when you are not aware of an opportunity, you will never take it. Because you are not aware. And when you are not aware of your current potentials, simply because you have been battered with life, all manner of things are moved against you. You now think, oh, that is where you should be. It is a lie. Are we together now? So, I need you to show courage even when you are failing. Even when it seems like things are not going well. Because if you are not courageous, no matter what you know, no matter how much you have learned, you are not going to make it happen. You are not going to make it happen. Courage is very, very important. I was listening to one of my mentor that I follow from afar, the likes of Les Brown, the likes of Brian Tracy, the likes of Miles Moreau, the like of Jack Canfield, the like of Maxwell. All these top people, I watched all their stories. They did not find anything easy in life. I read their books, and it gave me courage. Even when I'm at the lowest time in my life, I still need to move forward. Even if I can't run, I will take a step. Even if I can't fly, I will take a step. Even if I have to fall, I will fall forward. Even if I have to fall, the worst case scenario, I will ensure I will fall forward. And what is courage? If I define courage for you, courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Let me repeat that. Courage is moving from challenges to challenges, failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Are we together? I remember when I got my first job in IT in the United Kingdom. When I say, "Oh, Mr. Benga, we are happy to give you the job," guess what I said? I said, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I said, "Are you sure?" They said, "Yes." I put the phone in my second. I said, "Are you really sure?" They said, "Yes." You know why? Because I've gone for several interviews. You know, it was always, unfortunately, I've applied to over 440 something places. You know, life moved on me. But sometimes you just need one chance. Because that chance or that opportunity you get is going to compensate you for all other opportunities you have missed. Okay? Because what you know is what you show. Another thing I want you to know that in the place of your challenge, that is where you build stamina. That is where you learn what not to do. Are we together? When I was in Nigeria, in my second year in the university, that was when I lost my father. All right? And that same month, my mother retired. I had a younger brother who was in GS3 years at that time. That was in year 2010. So practically, money was coming from nowhere. It's not an easy time of my life. There are days I will trek to school. For those of you who know Nigeria this area in Nigeria very well, probably, if you know Ijebu, go to Agowe. I've trekked it many times. People like, "What?" I say, "Yes, I trekked it." Because I need to get to school. And life was moving on me. I had opportunity to join bad friends. I had opportunity to join Yahoo. But I did not. These are my days. Everybody has the days of dark side, the day of behind. That you be like, "What's happening?" Well, those are the days you should rejoice. Those are the days you should be happy because better days are coming. The only thing I was doing that time was programming my mind. Programming my mind. As you are here today, the first assignment I'm going to give to you is write a 5-year goal of your life. 5-year plan. Write 1-year plan. What do you want to achieve next year? Don't look at your current situation. I beg you in the name of God before you write it. Write 2-year plan. Write 3-year plan. Write 4-year plan. Write 5-year plan. Where you want to be. If you want to get married, write it. If you want to travel out, write it. Because why? Do you know thinking about the future doesn't cost you money? Oh, maybe you don't know. Thinking about a glorious future does not cost money. Oh. How many of us are aware that you're thinking about your future? Who do you have to pay? It doesn't cost you money. And that's why God said, and Jesus in the Bible said, more than you can ever think or imagine. If you can do it, then it is still too small for God. If you can think it, it is too small for God. That's why I said more than ever you can ever think or imagine. Are we together? So it's quite important. You need to build stamina and learn what not to do. And never be the type, okay, that seek other people's approval of things before you do something. If you do that, they will never allow you. Should I shock you today? The only person that wants you to be successful more than him, should I tell you, are your parents. whether you like it or not. I'm telling you the clear fact. The only person that wants you to be successful more than them is your parent. If you say, no, he's my friend, at the point, if the vision of that your friend is too small, your friend is going to get jealous of you at the point. Are we together? And when I mean they're going to get jealous of you, if, for example, now, you have a friend that has maybe 2 giftings, and you have 5, okay? By the time your friend is doing 100%, you are just doing 50%. So if you have the capacity for 100 million worth of business, and your friend asks capacity for only 1 million, by the time you are talking about 5 million, your friend will move against you. You'll be like, your own is too much. Are we together now? So do not seek people's approval. And that is why, by now, whether we like it or not, 5 months from now we come. 1 year from now we come. 2 years from now we come. 5 years from now we come. If you don't prepare for it, then it will never prepare for us. Okay? When you talk about the generals are not found in the general class. Let me say that again. Generals, they are not found because they are general. They are not found in the general class. You must prepare for it. I want you to catch a retrospect. 5 years ago, where were you? Catch a retrospect. Did you know, or do you know that you will be in this current situation or current position? 10 years ago, where were you? Are you following me? So it is important to plan for the future. Any future you don't plan for doesn't have any plan for you. And do you know why you're going to plan for the future? Simply because the future will not only contain you, it will contain every seed you carry. It will affect you, affect your children, affect your family. And that is why you must properly plan for it. So I'm going to give you some practical steps now. Tell you about my challenges, things I've gone through, and how by the mercies of God, I've been able to come out of it. Number 1, have a mind of your own. And only talk to people who are going your direction. Only talk to people who are going your way. Have many mentors if you can. I have many mentors. I know what to discuss about this mentor. When it's spiritual matter, I know what to discuss with. When in terms of business, I know what to discuss with. Are we together? When I finished school in year 2012, went for service, came back for service, nothing to do. While the service was rounding up, I began to ask myself, what am I going to do? I went to pray. My mom was telling me to come back to Ijebu. And then I didn't want to return back to my village. You know why? The only thing that will be bothering my life is Mario. Look at this one. No, it's not older. You are older than him. He has a wife. Look at this. And if I say I'm strong, they will bother me until if I don't get married, I eventually impregnate someone. So I distanced myself. I was staying in Ogbomoso. Nothing to do. Trying my best here and there. And I vowed that I will never go into teaching again. Like I vowed with my life. Because the experience I had teaching, paying me peanuts. My first salary and then teaching, was 3,000. Next to nothing, shouting, doing all your best. But I vowed I won't do it. I've stayed 3 days without food. I'm not fasting, no food. But then the only thing I was doing there was gathering resources into my mind. Gathering materials. Read every book I can read on Miles Moreau. Miles Moreau told in one of his books, Power of Vision, he said, write your 20-year goal. Do you know I wrote my 20-year goal? I wrote my 20-year goal. And one of my 3-year goals is that I wrote that I am going to have my company and I'm going to employ graduates. But how can you be in a village and be writing something like that? Friends, there's power in reading. There's power in writing. Put that down. There's power in reading the right material. And there's power in writing. Should I tell you why you need to write down your vision and not just put it on your head? Someone said the faintest pen is smarter or better than the best brain. Because in life, challenges will move against you. that everything you put in your mind will fly away. Have you ever been startled before? That everything you ever know flew away in that seconds. But when you write it, even in your darkest period, when you read your vision, you come alive. You have not realized it, but you feel it. There's an energy that enters you that my future will be great. So you're not just talking that, oh, my future will be great, because you've seen what you have written down. No wonder the Bible said, write the vision, make it plain, that he that readeth may run. It pumps new energy into you. Even when you are going through challenges, you will know that these challenges has an expiry date. Why do people, when you want to get money from bank, they will tell you to sign. Why are they asking you to sign? Because they know that you are committed to whatever you sign to. So when you write something to, you are committed to it. Are we together? During that period, I started reading books on interviews. Eventually, I got a role. I got an interview to work in the bank. And by the mercies of God, I did well in the interview because I have studied on how to pass interview. I got my first job. And they told me it is sales. So I had to travel to Lagos. And the bank was in Yaba Sabo area in Lagos. And I've never lived in Lagos. But I had to connect with my school father in secondary school. So I was living in their house. You know what they told me? They gave me a room. I said, no, I don't want a room. I don't want to have a fake comfort. Friends, with this age, at this time of our life, run away from fake comfort. The Bible speaking in Lamentation chapter 3 verse 27, he said, a man must bear his yoke in the days of his youth. In the days of his youth. In the days of his youth. Bear your yoke in the days of your youth. Because whether you like it or not, if you are in your mid-30s, in 15 years from now, you can't do what you are doing right now. In just 15 years. And if you are still 0-year-old right now, in 15 years, you are just waking up to life. You are not even waking up. That's why you must bear your yoke in the days of your youth. If you have wasted 10 years ago, do not worry. If you have wasted 15 years ago, do not worry. But the next 10 years must answer. The next 15 years must answer to you. The next 20 years must answer. I look at myself in the UK. I don't want to fast forward. Let me go with the story. And when they told me it is marketing, I was discouraged because I didn't like marketing. When I got back home, my friend told me, no, if it's marketing, go for it. It's those that do marketing that can manage a company, that can make me become a branch manager. And do you know what I did? I went down to Joe Legba. I bought every book I can read on marketing. On sales. 100 Unbreakable Laws by Michael Lebov. I bought it. No Excuse by Brian Tracy. I bought it. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. I bought it. I'm starting from where you are, get to where I bought auto by Jack Canfield. And I begin to read. In that bank, they've not done appraisal for me. They've not done induction for me. They just put me there. Like, okay, let me start. Do you know, I was just following everything Brian Tracy said in that book. And in 3 months, Benga Adetola became the best marketer bank-wide. This is me just following. Imagine I didn't read. I'll be languishing in that bank. I'll be frustrated. Knowledge and application of knowledge is power. Friends, if you don't read, you are not doing anybody, you are doing yourself. You need to wake up. You don't know a lot of things. You need to flush your mind. You need to learn. You need to relearn. I became the best marketer bank-wide. That is one. It was from that book I learned that when you get to any organization, you must write the date you are going to resign from that organization. Or else you'll be stuck there 20 years, 30 years, 35 years. Like most of our parents did. Becoming a maybe primary school teacher for 35 years. For what? For what? God forbid. They tried, but knowledge is power. How will I be in a place for 35 years doing the same thing? God forbid, bad thing. Are we together? So you need to really get angry with yourself right now. And I started reading a book. And in 3 months, I put in my resignation letter. After that, he said, leave an organization when your vision is louder. Everybody was shouting, Benga, 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 Benga. And I put in my resignation. They were like, no, 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 no. The HR came to me. No, 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 no. Head of credit came to me. No, 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 no. Head of treasury came to me. Head of marketing came. Said, you can't resign. Yada, yada, yada. The MD now said, Benga, do you want to go? I said, yes. Where are you going? I said, I want to go and start my own thing. Because I've read so much book on how to start your business. How to start your business. I read it. How you can start from nothing, from 0 naira. But do you know that my mind moved against me? It's not easy, oh. That's why I said courageous. The first month I resigned, I blamed myself that why did I let this job go? Because no money was coming the following month. And even this money coming, by the time I remove all my expenses, maybe I'm left with 500 naira. So if 500 cannot change my life, not having that 500 naira too cannot change my life. So while I was in the business, I started thinking, because I read one of the book. It said, think, how can you collect 1,000 naira from everybody every day and they will be happy to give you that 1,000 naira? That's a question that I want to trigger someone's mind tonight. I read that book. It said, how can you collect money from people daily and they will be happy giving you that money? And I started thinking, what value can I give? What value proposition can I give? What value stream can I have? What value proposition can I begin to give? I started thinking. There is a guy in my street. This guy no go school. Permit me to talk that way. He didn't go to school. But he has a chemist shop where you buy, sorry, not really chemist shop, where you have basic essential things. And do you know what happens? I discovered in the evening, I was observing the guy. By 7 p.m., he's going to lock his door. And you see people queuing, giving the guy money. Please, I need soap. I need toothpaste. I need Indomie. And I now reason from that book I learned that, okay, what can you give to people that will be giving you money freely? Yeah. Please, guys, so far, am I giving you value? Let me know. Just populate in the charts. And I begin to watch it. That what can I do? Then my mind just moved against that. Okay, why can't you be selling honey? Selling honey. When people buy honey, and truly, I started looking for where I will buy honey. Listen, then I began to sell that honey while I was still at the bank. I now discovered that I made my salary in a week. That was what even propelled me that, I will resign this thing. When I resigned, the business of the honey was not moving like the same way. Imagine when I now resigned, that was when I now discovered that the person supplying me honey was actually supplying me sugar. I wanted to run mad. I've left my banking job. So all I left is to be selling sugar. Oh my God. I can't return back to the work. I started crying. What will I do again? My men started moving against me. And people had told me, don't resign. My mother begged me, don't resign. But I said, I'm going to resign. I'm going to start my business. Do you know I found myself in another employment again? Because I can't cope. I have to go and get a job. But don't forget, I have a vision in my mind. And the vision I have in my mind is there. So anytime I see opportunity, I will connect it to the vision. That's why it's dangerous to leave your mind empty. If you're going somewhere, there must be something in your mind. It's not until you get to the garage or the bus stop, you know where you're going. You determine it where you are going from house. And where you are going will determine the kind of car you are going to enter. So if you leave your mind empty, you get to the bus stop or bus station. And I say, okay, where is this car going? Lagos, where is this one going? Oh wait, where is this one going? Abuja. I think this car is fine. Let me enter Abuja. You'll be lost in life. And I pray for you, you'll never be lost in life in Jesus' name. That's why you need to open your heart, open your mind. I'm going to move forward, fast forward. So when I got to the company, it's a branding company. Bam! It just connected to my vision. That was when I learned how to brand a new product. I learned it from that company. I related with a graphic artist and their website designer. Meanwhile, the honey I was selling half of a liter, I was selling for 600 naira then. My brother, that's not a good way to live. How much is 600 naira? As at then, I'm telling you, as at 2015, 2016. In one of my vision book, I've written that I'm going to travel out. I'm going to visit 200 countries. I wrote it back in 2013 in Ogbomoso. 20 years ago. But the good thing is that when I look back, I've almost achieved some of the things I wrote rather. And I'm setting out new plans. Just last week, I sat down again. What's my next 5-year goal? I planned my child into it. I planned my wife into it. I told myself, once my child is 7, he start coding. This world is moving very fast. He start learning how to use Excel. I didn't start to use Excel until after I finished university. What a lie. Aya. Okay. Currently, my child is around 5 years, going to 6 this year. He plays piano. It took me 30 years before I got my international passport. My son got it after 3 months he was born. Friends, as I was saying, then I was molested, abused in that job. I had to leave. It was then I had to meet with the graphic guy. Help me design a container for my honey. Do you know, by just designing that container for my honey, friends, honey I was selling for 600 naira, I started selling for 6,000 naira. By just that design. And people were paying for it. People were paying for it. It was then we started my first company in the city room in Lagos. After 1 month, after we sold, we had our first office. In 3 months, I made my first 1 million naira at the age of 24, 25. But look at what I've gone through. I first of all invested into myself. After I started the business, I now started another business again. Selling herbs. Just normal herbs. These herbs, I go to Osun State, I get this herb for maybe per keg, maybe 3,000 per keg. But because I now learn art of branding now, I will sell half a liter from that keg. Just half of a liter. That's like 10-liter keg. That's half of a liter. We have 10 liters. So half of a liter. Not even 1 liter. I sell it for 10K. Friends, I made mad money. I bought properties. I bought my first car, sold it, bought my second car. I made mad money. I was running into 15 million monthly. All my sales people were in the office. Some of my staff, as at then, were collecting 150K per month. The lowest I was being paid was 50,000. But right now in Nigeria, they're still dragging 60,000 for minimum wage in this economy. As at then, my staff, they don't joke with me. Every month, if you meet target, I will have bought, maybe I can buy a deep freezer, put it in the office, you'll be seeing it. Eat the target and take this deep freezer home. Friends, there's power in vision. Do you know that they will hit that target? When we go with a big generator, when we go with freezer, with washing machine, big one, 8 kg. There was a day I said, okay, send all your parents' account number. I wired money to them. Their prayer begin prayer. What am I trying to say in this? This is the same guy without a father. This same guy. I was sleeping on the floor in Lagos for 3 years. Not that there's no bedroom, but I said I don't want fake comfort. Let me sleep on the floor. So that let me know that there's fire under my feet. I need to run. So you don't live your life as if you have thousands of years to live. Yeah, I'm not going to give you the story how I came down to the UK. With the mercies of God. Go to the UK. The available job is care job. If you don't know it. I used to hear of shift before I came to the UK. When I came to the UK, I became the king of shift. Shift. Care job, proper care job. Where you see elderly people that cannot do their personal cares. And I started it. I came into the UK 2022. I'm just telling you that I've had to restart my life all over again. So this principle works. It's a step. Once you're on the right direction, you get where you're going. In developed country, wherever you are going, once you have the address, the postcode, Google Map will take you there. You can't miss the road. So there are practical steps you need to take. Practical steps. Unless you say your life is not valuable, If your life is valuable, me, I can never be poor in my life. One of the vision for my next 2030 is I want to be a millionaire in pounds by 2030, 2029. But I'm careful where I tell, because when I speak, some people think maybe I'm braggadocious or I have pride. But it's because of what is inside of me. I've got God, yes, and I've eaten a lot. So I'm being driven. It's driving me crazy. So I'm seeing, when you see a madman, when they talk, you can't comprehend, because they are seeing the invisible. And there's a book called Seeing the Invisible to Do the Invisible. Sorry. I hope I'm not mixing it up. When you see the invisible, you do the impossible, rather. So vision is like that, because you can't see the vision yet. It's in blueprints. Blueprint. You know what we call blueprints? When you want to build a house, you go and meet the draftsman or the architect. So by the virtue of the architect drawing, the house is ready on paper. That's a blueprint. If you don't have a vision, my brother, you go nowhere, because you cannot eat a target you can't see. You cannot eat a target you can't see. So after about 3 months or 4 months, 6 months in the job, I begin to ask people, I said, please, what else can I do with my life apart from this care job? Somebody on my right, I said, how long have you been in this job? He said, 15 years. I said, Jesus, I had 15 years to my age. I said, God forbid. In fact, I rejected it profusely. I asked someone, he said, 12 years. He said, and I'm happy. I said, I can't be happy. I cannot be happy. Someone told me, okay, business analysis. Business analysis, let me know about it. I started talking, asking people. Went for the first training. The first training, I paid £700. If you have to convert £700 to Naira now, it's well above 1.5 million. For a training in 6 days. And I did a training, and the guy said, you are now a business analyst. I said, yeah, but I'm not feeling like a business analyst. It was pure scam. I fell into scam. But it did not stop me. That's why I say sometimes challenges will come against you. Before I could pack £700 and give someone, after they've removed my tax, all I'm left in a day, maybe is about £90. And I packed that £90 together to make £700, and I'm still going to pay my rent. For those who are living abroad, you know what I'm talking about. Your rent is constant. Your bills are constant. I now pack it to you, only for you to teach me something in 6 days. You know, I'm not a business analyst. Hey. Went for another training, gave £400, still fell into scam. I started reading. I read 7 hours in a day when I was trying to transition. 7 hours, because I want to be competing job with people who are changing jobs, and I've got no experience. I read 7 hours in a day. Do you know one thing I know about reading? Nothing damages ignorance like reading. Guys, I hope I'm not boring us. I hope I'm not boring us. I want to be sure I'm giving you value. Please, I want to see your comment in the comment section. Am I boring you? I hope I'm giving you value for your time. I hope I'm not wasting your time. So, I rearranged my CV again, went for another training. The third one, I paid about £450. Friends, all those things were like waste. But do you know that not until now, I realized the reason why God has made me go through all those journeys. Friends, I have a popular knowing. I say, sometimes God can mess up your life to give you a message for life. I repeat, God can mess up your life to give you a message for life. Just like the children of Israel. God says, I'm going to take you with a land flowing with milk and honey. They were happy. Yay. Yeah. Like David, I will make you a king. Yay. But God did not show me the process. If God showed me the process, showed me the process, I might say, no. Maybe I'll become a senior carer or become a nurse. Which will take me another 2 to 3 years before I become a full nurse. But when I went through all the wilderness, all the rejection, job rejection, before I met a mentor that structured me up, do you know that it looked very long, but do you know it was all in 5 months? From the very first day I heard about business analysis to this next time I got my job, it was just 5 months. 5 months. Are we together? It was just 5 months. When I got my first job, when I heard about business analysis for the very, very first time, just 5 months. What am I trying to say in essence? That was the days of wilderness. But I read 7 hours a day. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. When I come back from my work and shift, if I'm not going to my care job, I read again 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. The very first week when I started was the hardest. Guess what happened to me, friends? After the first week, any day I don't read, I feel like a sinner. You know when you commit sin, secret sin, the way you feel before God, that's why I feel when I don't read. It has now mastered me. See, I gave an analogy last time. I said, if you have two people who are friends, who are classmates, okay, and they want to both go into real estate business or go into business, and one read a book from Dangote, and Dangote wrote my practical experience, my practical 30 years experience of business, read another book from Warren Buffett, my 30 something years experience in business, read another book maybe from Bill Gates, my practical experience. Do you know that this other guy that didn't read anything, they can't arrive at the same place because his friend is already about 60 years ahead of him. He's already 60 years ahead of him before they even start at all. Because the way that guy will be reasoning is different. What he has learned that he didn't know from all these people, he will be applying it and it's going to work. Life is about principle. Either you're in America, US, Nigeria, anywhere, if you jump from 3-story, you will land. Whether you can speak it or not, you will land on the floor and break your back. So it's a principle. So you now have a guy who is 60 years ahead of you. Just like when I was in Nigeria, my classmates, I know being Ghana, is our class rep. And I was making millions. And you are still years trying to find your feet after university. Because you thought maybe it's when you read your microbiology textbook. What has moved since all those residual knowledge we gained from the university? You don't need to go to university before you make it in this life. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. There are people who have gone on this part of this journey that if you don't see them read their books, bye. Do you know when I was living in Nigeria, do you know all this, the biggest side of Ghana must go? I didn't know I bought books up to that extent. Books, now full to let you know how much I've invested into my life. If you cannot read, you cannot lead. If you are too big to read, you are too small to lead. If you are too big to read, you are too small to make impact in life. Impact responds to knowledge. It's what you know you show. People will only follow you when they see you have value. At that point, your age does not matter. You don't become rich by age. If you become rich by age, people who are 90 should be having billions of dollars. But it responds to knowledge. And this, what I'm telling you is not new. You've had it before, but you've not taken time to discipline yourself. To discipline yourself. You've not taken time. And if you cannot discipline yourself, you are in trouble. If you cannot discipline yourself in every area, in the way you use your time. If you are still here, you are still struggling with women, you already know where you are going to end. Look at the people who were not disciplined in the area of women. That is where your life will end. It's not a cause. We already know. And look at people where that they discipline themselves, who are very successful. That is where you are going to get to. It's a destination because there's a blueprint already. Are we together? So you must decide, do I want to be great? It's a personal question. And when I got my first job as a business analyst, I was scared. You know why? The kind of hard work I do, I will wash old people, change pampers. It's sweet. It's sweet me telling you now, rather than I'm staying into it. I had to restart my life. I didn't know anything about IT. I learned everything here. Please, you're not too old to change anything you want to change. If I've gone for nursing, I'll still be in nursing school now. At the end of the day, I'm earning more than a nurse. I'm earning more than a nurse. So if I was you, I'm in Nigeria right now. With all the bows in Nigeria, with everything is going, all I'll be doing is to rearrange my mind and ask my dad, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? So right now, I work in the IT, I work from home, seeing my family, attending 1 or 2 meetings. And meanwhile, my friends then that they didn't do it, they're still in that care job. They are regretting. How much are they being paid? They've got families. Guys, type, I will never be small in my life. Just type it. It's a declaration that comes from the place of knowledge. I will never be small in my life. Type it, type it, type it. I cannot be small. I cannot be poor. I cannot be small. I cannot be poor. I cannot be small. I cannot be poor. In the name of Jesus Christ. So before I round up, I've got 9 minutes more. I'm sorry, I'm very disciplined with time. Okay? So if I say 1 hour, everything I need to say was up in that 1 hour. Okay? And I've just touched number 2 of what I plan to say. I've got 3 and 4, but 1 hour has gone. 1 hour has just gone. Okay? And I've not even given you what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 hour has gone already. Are we together? I just hope I'm delivering value to you. So let me round up with this. If I ask this question, okay? If there's a good business I'm doing, I'm making a lot of money, some people are doing, just listen to me carefully and follow me. I'm making a lot of money. All right? And the business is legit. It's a good investment, giving you good returns. If I ask you guys, would you invest into it? If I ask you to invest, that you're going to make money, would you invest into it? The popular answer I've gotten is that, yes, I'll do my research. Yes, do your research after you see that it's a good business. Would you invest? People say yes, they will invest into it. Okay. Now, and I told them, this business is bad. Don't invest. So people are crying. People are not making money. People are losing their money. Would you invest? Automatically is no. So it's a simple analogy. I'm not talking about the real business. I'm talking about our lives. If you think your life is a good business, your life is valuable, you will invest time into it. You will invest reading into it. You will invest watching video of great people into it. But if you don't do any of those things, if you don't invest time, you don't read, you are technically saying your life is a bad business, that you are not worth investing into. That's what you're saying. Someone said, I watch what you do that I don't have time to listen to what you say. He said, what you do speaks so loud that I can't hear what you say. So what are you doing in your life? And at this moment, the only cost is time to invest into your life. There's time for party, there's time for, see, bro, when you're not there yet, you're not there yet. Disappear for the next 6 months. Disappear for the next 1 year. And reappear. Nothing's going to happen. Because whether you do it or not, go and write it down. 6 months will come and pass. When did you start January this year? Are we not encroaching into July now? Are we not going to July now? Once you start disciplining yourself, you will watch the way you dissipate your energy. Should I shock you? Now, in the last 1 year, 5 months, I have changed job 3 times. I'm being head-hunted. And it doesn't sound like maybe I just moved into Haiti in year 2023. I got my first job in Haiti in 2023 March. But because of the time I've invested, 7 hours. Now that I'm working, I read minimum of 15 hours. Ademi, we are doing Zoom. I will show you my plan, my day-to-day study plan. I invest minimum of 15 hours every week. But don't forget, I started in an undeveloped country with unfavorable situation in the country, and I made it. Now I'm not in a place that is favorable. I'm not praying for light. I'm not praying for electricity. What's now my excuse? You will make that money. I told someone by the time I'm 55, I want to have about 50 houses in the United Kingdom. In the next 2 years, I'll start reading massively into real estate. But before then, I'll be saving up. Guys, when I say I can't be poor, it's a prayer and it's not a prayer. I'm watching video on stocks. Start buying stocks. Invest so much money and leave it there. Let it be there. You are in Nigeria. Put any money you can put on Bitcoin. and leave it there for a long time. Not what you want to withdraw quickly. If it's a crash, it doesn't concern. Just leave it there for 5 years. For 5 years from now, it's going to come. Some people have become billionaires cheaply doing that. You can do real estate wherever you are. You can go into Airbnb, watch as many videos, watch up to 20 videos on Airbnb, and you start in Nigeria. You'll be shocked. Just start. You can just rent a place. Maybe you'll be giving your landlord money once a year, Abi, and you can be making money every day on it. Have an agreement with him. These are what you learn from videos. I can't be poor. I'm going to invest so much in real estate that once I'm 60, I'll be going around Nigeria, impacting people, giving talks, not motivational talk, but inspirational, to inspire you to get things done, to get you started, to let you know that you need to pay your price. You need to pay your price. There's something called back from the future thinking. When you sit down and you think about your future, imagine yourself in Lamborghini, imagine yourself in America, just have that good feelings about yourself. And not sit down and think, what is the price I need to pay? What do I need to do? I need to invest in myself. Now go to work. Go to work. Go to work. And invest into yourself. I have zero tolerance for people who are lazy mentally. I have zero tolerance for people who cannot hold capacity, who cannot hold talk for 5 minutes. If all you ever know is just to describe the scripture alone, you've lost it. You've lost it. I'm telling you, that's why you see some people, men of God, they make it, some don't make it big. Look at Oyedepo. If he wasn't a man of God, he will still be very successful. See how he was able to bring architecture into ministry. Brought architecture into ministry. See how he was able to bring education into ministry. Having schools, impacting life. It's not just church, where 2 or 3 people are gathered. No. There's so much. So don't think that God brought you from heaven just to come and stay in a place and become a local champion. No way. Before I formed you, I knew you before. So guys, get serious. I don't want to overload you. Get serious with your life. I've just spoken about being courageous. I've not touched, sense of urgency. I've not touched being single-minded. I'm working on my life daily. I'm happy going to bed. I'm watching my energy. Dissipating my energy in the right way. I'm preparing for the future. Getting ready to explode. I've disappeared from every social media app you can think of. I'm only on LinkedIn. I disappear completely. I don't want people to know my whereabouts. Completely. Unless I give it that permission. I don't want you to know what I'm doing. Because I'm working in silence. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, but I'll only show you the results. I will show you the results. Because why? The Bible speaking in John. It said, I must be about my Father's business, for the night coming when no man can walk. My brother, if you are 30 now, by the time your son is 30 years, you are 60. Do you know this age of 18 runs very fast? The moment you cross 21, now 30, they look up there before 2 World Cup, before 2 election in Nigeria. You're already 30. Hey, that is how the team fly, and that's why I pity guys who cannot invest into their mind in Nigeria. If you are just, let's say you are 18, the next 2 elections, that's 8 years, you're already 25. At that time, you'll be looking at, how am I going to settle down? She's trying to settle. Okay, you now say you settle. Another 2 elections, so we no go clear, you didn't do well, this one will come, we blame this one, that one will come, we blame that one. Another 2 elections, 8, you are 32. Jesus Christ. That is 40 at your front. If you want to know what you are going to look like when you clock 40, go and look at people who are 40 years old now. That's exactly the way you are going to look. You now be like, what did I do with my life? Friends, invest into your life. Invest into your destiny. Invest. The future is coming. We will not die. We will not die. The future is coming. So where's your 5-year goal right now? Write it down. I will list books you should read. 2 books. So I won't stalk you. Number 1, The Power of Vision by Miles Monroe. The Power of Vision by Miles Monroe. The second one, No Excuse by Brian Tracy. Those books should set you on fire. If you know where you're going, if you know what you want to do. Okay? So God forbid, if I lose everything I have, I will start all over again freshly because I have the roadmap. So at this point, I'm going to say thank you guys. It's 9 p.m. and it's exactly 1 hour. We've started this. If time permits, next week, we'll continue so we can look at 3, we can look at 4. But I have zero patience for anybody. You know why the Bible said we should not be the hearer, but the doer? Because many people can hear, few people will do. You don't know. People can hear, Rema, fire, right on. But what are you going to do? Is the doer. He is the doer. Even God is the doer. The apostles are the doer. That's why we say the heart of apostle. He share more apostolic what they are doing. Friends, you are not at disadvantage because of your country. We have poor people in the United Kingdom. We have poor people in the US. We have beggars on the street. Let them tell you. Beggars, they 1 cent here, £1, please. 1 cent here, £1, please. You see some people, they tell you, well, I don't take £1, I take £5. I say, on top of my money, you must be joking. I'm from Nigeria. You must be joking. You must be joking. So, friends, I wish you the best of God. Let this be a cold fire and set yourself ablaze. Set yourself ablaze. Go to Ojuelegba, buy books, 1,000 naira, invest into yourself. Okay? Enough of eating that money. Buy knowledge. Bible says buy it and sell it now. Buy it. And guess what? Right now, I've gotten to a level in this my IT that I now begin to teach people IT. I teach people IT right now. And I won't tell you how much I'm charging because this thing is live. I don't know where they're going to play it. Okay? So I want to say thank you, friends. God bless you. And I think it's safe for me to say good night.